10 years. That's how long I lived in a basement. With no sunlight, no freedom, no voice. The man I loved, the man I called my husband, turned the key and left me there to rot. If you're hearing my voice right now, please don't scroll, because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of nightmare no woman, no grandmother should ever have to survive. My name is Margaret Williams. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. If you're hearing me right now, please give this video a like and follow this page. Every time you do, it gives us grandmas the courage to finally share our pain. After being silent for so many years, today I'm here to tell you about my true life story that left a crack in my heart. For 10 long years, I was locked in a basement, forgotten, and this is my true story. I grew up in a small house on the east side of Detroit. Life wasn't easy. My father left when I was a child, and my mother struggled with drinking. By the time I was in my late 30s, I thought things would finally get better. I got married to a man named Harold. He was charming at first, kind, gentle, the kind of man every woman prays for. But slowly, his mask began to slip. He became controlling. He hated when I went out. He hated when I laughed too loud. And he especially hated when I tried to visit my church friends. At first, I thought it was just jealousy, but I had no idea the nightmare he was preparing for me. One summer night, Harold told me we were moving. He carried boxes down to the basement and asked me to help him arrange them. I followed without suspecting a thing. Then the door slammed shut. I heard the lock click, and when I turned, Harold's eyes weren't the eyes of the man I married. They were dark, cold. He looked me dead in the face and said, "You're never leaving me. This is where you belong." I screamed, I begged, I cried until my throat was raw, but no one came. My neighbors thought we'd moved away. My own family thought I had run off, and that night became the first of 10 long years. The basement was damp, cold, and smelled of mold. I slept on a thin mattress on the floor. The only light was a small bulb hanging from the ceiling. Harold would bring me scraps of food, just enough to keep me alive. And if I ever raised my voice, he'd remind me, "No one will ever find you. Clara, you're mine forever." I prayed every night, sometimes out loud, sometimes just in whispers. I begged God to let someone hear me, but days turned into months. Months into years. I counted the years by scratching marks into the wall. 1, 2, 3, until the numbers became too painful to keep track of. And the worst part wasn't the hunger. It wasn't the darkness. It was the silence. 10 years, without a single human voice except the man who caged me. One stormy night, after 10 years of torment, the lock on the basement door broke. Maybe it was rust. Maybe it was God's hand. The door creaked open. For a moment, I couldn't move. I thought it was a trick, but when I stepped outside, I felt fresh air for the first time in a decade. I ran barefoot into the street, screaming for help. My body was weak, my voice cracked, but a neighbor heard me. An old man across the road came out and called 911. The police came. They rushed me to the hospital, and Harold. He was arrested and detained that very night. I was free, but my soul was shattered. People ask me, "Clara, how did you survive 10 years in that place?" And the truth is, I don't even know. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was faith. The first time I saw the sun again, I cried for hours. I touched the grass with my hands. I held children who reminded me of the years I lost. Harold was sentenced to life in prison, but justice never truly heals the wound. Healing came slowly, through therapy, through the love of my church, and through moments like this where I can finally share my voice. My dear ones, if you're still listening, thank you. Thank you for giving me strength. Please, if you've ever survived something you thought you wouldn't, share it in the comments. Your story might give another person hope, just like I pray mine does today. And don't forget, like, follow, and subscribe, because every grandma deserves to be heard. This is Clara's voice, and tonight, you heard it.